How does it work when you're trying to gain weight? I'm talking all that today, so strap in, get ready for episode 221. Let's go.
The future of fitness.
How do you gain muscle mass?
Fitness is not complicated. It's simple when you break it down.
There's so much information out there.
No fads, no diets, just plain simple habits.
You're listening to the Bones to Bulk podcast.
Hey, welcome to today's episode. My name is Brian Parody, and I will be your host today. And if this is your first time tuning in, welcome. So glad to have you here. And for my return listeners, thank you for coming back. It truly means the world to me. All right, so before we dive into today's content, if you have not grabbed your free meal plan, then please go grab that. You can go to bonestobulk.com/free meal plan. Easy peasy, right? I will have that linked in the show notes, but go grab that. Again, it's free. You'll put in your email address. It's delivered right to your inbox. It really can't get any easier. So go check that out. With that being said, let's dive in. So gaining weight. I think there's just so much confusion around that topic because we've been told so many things. We've heard so many things from the online space, and this person says to try this diet, and this person says to try this product, and we're so just surrounded with information that we've forgotten the very basics of what really fitness is all about. And not just from an aesthetic point, but also from a health perspective. Because what's the point of looking great if you're just dying on the inside, right? I mean, look at a lot of these bodybuilders. I'm not saying that the feats they've accomplished are incredible, but at the same time, a lot of their bodies are just completely broken down by the time they're in their mid to late 30s. And for me, I can't imagine. Like, I want to be healthy for the long haul. So let's dive into the basics because, again, I say all the time, fitness is overcomplicated, and my goal is to bring simplicity back to it. And we make it so complicated. We truly do. And so I hope that this episode just brings back some clarity, that I can kind of part the clouds of confusion, and that I just make your life a little bit more simple. So everybody has a basic metabolic rate. That's what your body burns in a day. That's how many calories just from going about your normal day-to-day that you burn a day. So for this example, I'm going to say that you burn 2,000 calories a day, okay? It's just easier to have a round number. Now, before I dive into that though, how do you figure out how many calories you're burning a day? Because that's a big question. Well, unfortunately, we live in the day and age where everything's automated, right? So you can download an app like MyFitnessPal, Lose It, Fitbit, or you can just go to Google and type in calorie calculator. About 10 of them pop up. They're all pretty great. I use usually the first one that pops up. And you're going to put in your height, your weight, your age, and then you're going to choose how active you are. So, I think it starts out as no activity, then 1 to 3 times a week, 4 to 5, super active. Never choose the super active one, like unless you're an athlete. You just don't pick that one. Most people are going to probably be the 1 to 3 days a week or the 4 to 5 days a week. And even the 4 to 5 days a week is pushing it. That's like getting in really tough workouts 4 to 5 days a week. So pick one of those. Then it's going to calculate how much you should be eating a day to maintain. Now, is this number 100% accurate? Absolutely not, but it does give you a good reference starting point. Now, one thing you're going to see when you pop this up is it's going to show you how much to eat to maintain, how much to eat if you want to lose 1 pound a week, or how much to eat if you want to lose 2 pounds a week. People I typically work with, I like to go with the 1,000 calorie deficit, which is equivalent to 2 pounds a week. The reason for that is because most people underestimate what they eat. And it's no fault of their own. It's just when you're not used to measuring and tracking everything, it's easy to overlook things. So usually when I put someone in a 1,000 calorie deficit, they're really more so in like a 5 to 750 calorie deficit. It's just usually the way it turns out. So that's the first thing. Now, to gain weight, it's the opposite. It's eating over that basic range. So if you eat 500 calories over your maintenance level, then you're going to gain essentially 1 pound a week, because 500 calories a day times 7 is 3,500 calories, which is equivalent to 1 pound. So whether you're losing, whether you're gaining, that's kind of the number you go off of. And then if you eat 1,000 calories over your maintenance level, then you are going to gain 2 pounds a week in theory. Again, this isn't across the board. And usually what happens is the first few weeks you change up your eating habits, you see a dramatic change. Sometimes it can be even more than the 2 pounds. But what happens is it then slows down. This is completely normal. We get that initial, oh yeah, I've lost all this or I've gained all this. And then the weeks following, we only gained a couple pounds or we only lose a couple pounds. This is normal. And this is where most people give up because they think, oh, well, it's just not working. No, it's because you haven't given it enough time. This stuff takes time. It took me once I finally figured out what the hell I was doing with food, it took me about a year and a half to get to where I'm at from a skinny person. Like that seems, oh my gosh, a year and a half. I don't have that amount of time, but why not? Why don't you? Because here's the thing, when you do something super fast and you see all these amazing results, 9 times out of 10, it is not sustainable. These people who lose all this weight really quick or gain all this weight really quick, what happens is then they don't maintain it. They don't keep it on or they don't keep it off because what they were doing to get to that point is not feasible to do long term and probably isn't healthy to do long term. So I'm going to throw that out there. Now, what types of food should you be eating? How does that work? Can you have, unhealthy foods in that? Well, here's the thing. You've got to stay in that calorie range, right? So let's say, for example, going back to your basic rate is 2,000 a day. That's your maintenance level, right? And you're trying to gain some muscle mass. So you're eating 3,000 a day. You're eating 1,000 calorie excess. Now, let's say that the majority of your food is coming from processed foods, from fast food, from just a lot of junk food, Little Debbie snacks and pizzas and ice cream, etc. Because you're like, oh, I just got to get in more calories, right? Well, here's the thing. Your muscles need certain things to grow. They can't grow off of sugar. They can't grow off of just like unhealthy fats, okay? So by consuming all that unhealthy stuff, for example, a lot of sugar, guess what your body does with sugar? Your liver can only process a small amount of sugar at a time. So when you eat a ton of sugar and then it all hits that liver, the liver's like, oh, I can't let you all in right now. So in the meantime, I'm going to store the rest of you as fat. So that's why, you can't just go out and eat whatever you want if you're trying to gain muscle. I know that we live in the bulking and the cutting era. If it's wintertime, I'm going to bulk. If it's summertime, I'm going to shred. And first off, there's no reason to do that. In all honesty, I think the bulking shredding thing is an excuse just so that we can eat whatever the hell we want to eat 6 months out of the year and just let our diets go to crap. That's my personal opinion. And so you want to eat healthy, wholesome, nutritious foods, things that are going to fuel your muscles, healthy proteins, healthy carbohydrates, and healthy fats. Our bodies need all that to develop, to grow. And I know there's people out there who do carnivore or keto and are like, no, we don't need carbs. There's more and more research. I was just reading a research article yesterday about the long-term effects of going without carbs or going without much carbs. And they're starting to see that it affects the heart in a negative way. So, any diet that completely restricts like a whole food group like proteins or carbs or fats, it's not going to help you out in the long run. The age-old saying, everything in moderation, is so freaking true. And my grandfather used to say that. He wasn't into health. He wasn't into fitness. He lived a long, healthy life. Up until the day he died in his mid-80s, he was golfing 5 times a week and running his own business still. Like, he never kind of hit that just static state where he wasn't able to take care of himself. And, not saying that he ate the best, but he did eat pretty good compared to most people. He didn't really eat fast food. He ate a lot of variety, a lot of healthy foods. So I think there's a lot to be said about that. So, don't get in this box of, I've got to do this diet, I've got to do that diet. No, you don't. Stick to the calorie range or your goal, whether that's for gaining an excess or whether it's for losing a deficit. Track your calories, use an app. There's a lot of free ones out there because until you start tracking your calories, you have no idea what you're eating. You really, truly don't. When I started tracking calories, my mind was blown. I was like, holy crap, I didn't realize this was in that and that was in that. Like, it is mind blowing. So track your calories, eat for your goal, and eat. I would say 85% of your food should be really clean, good, wholesome food. The 15% can be some cheap food, can be some things that aren't the healthiest, but 85%, I think that should be your goal for how much of your food is actual clean, good, healthy food, because none of us are perfect. You're not going to hit 100%. Maybe you will for like a week or 2 weeks, and then you're just going to be like, no, screw this. Like, nobody's perfect. So I don't expect you to eat on point all the time. I don't. I have a cheat meal. I have a cheat dessert once a week, and then I have whiskey once or twice a week. So like I have my things that I go to, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't have those, but the majority of your food, like I said, 85% should come from really good stuff. So I hope this helps. I hope it clears up some maybe misinformation that you received in the past and gets you on track with your goals. If you found this helpful, please connect with me. I am online everywhere at Bones to Bulk. We have a great Facebook community. You can find me on there, Pinterest, Instagram, TikTok. Have a great YouTube channel with getting close to 500 videos on there. That's right. So if you're looking for any kind of workouts to follow along to, I promise you, I probably have one on that specific muscle group. I have ones using body weight only. I have ab exercises, like you name it, I have a video on it. So youtube.com/bones to bulk. Check that out and make sure to subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate it. All right. With that being said, remember, no matter how many times you've failed in the past, how many, fad diets you've tried and they just haven't panned out for you, you can accomplish your goals. It's just finding that balance, hitting your stride, keep after it, stay consistent. You've got this.